I just typed, I was here, Mom! Oh, you're losing connection. That's okay, this will stay up when we're done. 3, 2, 1, reborn!
Peggy 16.
Is that Melina?
Pure and radiant, he wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men.
Nicola.
There is nothing more terrifying.
That's a new area. Oh my god! Is this an overlay? I think
In
this
that
is...
forsaken place,
Okay, let's just get this done.
blood must spill. Blood of your fellows. The Erdtree faithful.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing side of a war.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
I presume you, too, are keen to know just what kind Mikola is doing here.
Is that open of cause?
Of the race of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Vesma's flame.
Come now, touch the withered arm, and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind.
That
May we
confirms
meet
it's it's the cult is the entry point, because you just touch the withered arm and enter the realm of shadow. Mikola! So it's actually the young American. It's Mikola. Okay. 21st June, that is neat. Okay. We did just see Mikola. Nice. It's going to be fun navigating this, because it's like 2.5... Yeah, it's like half an hour of nothing, followed by this like 3-minute trailer. Okay, let's go. Let's just go. Okay. So that... That's not Melina, is it? But that sort of skirt thing looks like... I think
Sure.
I've seen that pattern before, but the thing is, like, they will reuse patterns a lot, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. This might actually be Rico. If you listen to the dialogue.
And radiant, he wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men.
So when they're like, Rico, for people who don't know, he was like he was a Mikola, like, adherent character, and I reckon that there is going to be Rico, or like the Rico equivalent. So hang on, let's just go start marking these off. So we got, I'll say we've got Rico. Hang on. Why aren't I able to write on this? Why ain't what is wrong with you? The most simplistic part of it stops working. This is... Oh, because I got something selected. That's why. Okay. So, bump. Actually, let's make it transparent. Okay. And we got Mikola already. So this essentially, like, there's a line later on where they like touch the withered arm and enter the realm of shadow. So that confirms that that's how you get to the DLC. So this is going to be like a pretty late game thing, considering like you don't get to Mogwin. Oh, okay, this is interesting. You can get to Mogwin early, but they don't expect you to beat Moog until pretty late. So I can already tell like there's going to be a speedrun thing where people meet Vare, get the thing, get the Mogwin shield crest thing, and then immediately go here, beat Moog on like level 6, and then go into the DLC.
There is nothing more terrifying.
Moog % run, exactly. Now this is interesting because I haven't actually played Elden Ring for quite some time. And I'm wondering if like, is this a new area? Because or is this like an... It looks new to me, but I'm wondering if like the realm of shadow is supposed to be like almost like an overlay, like the Dark World in Zelda. Or I guess maybe like the Hunter's Nightmare in Bloodborne, where it's like a bunch of existing places from the game, but like given a makeover. Because that sort of makes sense if you're talking about a realm of shadow. Because the thing about this is like, I'm assuming the realm of shadow is like a metaphysical place. It's like another sort of like reality that you're stepping into. It's not like there's just a realm of shadow that's on an island somewhere that you go visit. It does look new, but I'm wondering if it's like a Hunter's Nightmare thing where it's going to be made out of like existing assets. Like we're going to run through like bits of Stormvale and stuff. Yeah, like this is new. Like this place here doesn't exist in the base game. But like that that thing there, that looks like... Those are in Liurnia, aren't they? Hang on. Like that. That's new, isn't it? Yeah, the deathbed dream, exactly. That was like something we were suggesting when they first announced it, is like apart from Mikola, the other thing that seems obviously sort of like cut back and hacked together and changed is Godwin. Because like for reference, that weird like fish mermaid decaying baby thing, that is like that's made from two completely mismatched assets that they just kind of like hammer together. So like for reference, that like the Godwin corpse, he's like strung up like this, and he's got the fish tail, and you'll notice he has a waistcloth between the two. That's because those two pieces don't fit together. And I likened it to like if you're making like a custom Warhammer figure or something and something doesn't line up, if you sculpt like a belt or something around it, you can kind of hide the join. And like I am fairly sure that the reason that the Godwin one's missing below the waist is because it was also going to be buried somewhere, like the thing that's buried under Stormvale, and it was going to be buried up to its waist, so it had nothing below the waist, and they just stuck a fish on it. It's very strange. So yeah, I was thinking like that's a very obvious thing to add would be like new Godwin stuff. Yeah, this does... See, I'm like... Okay, like that's interesting because one theory that we kind of had was like, that's like the shadow of the Erdtree. Is it going to be in the same place? But that's clearly not Landell. Like, that looks nothing like Landell, and it's got that, like... I think that might actually be where they, the Dragon Knight-looking dude that we fight. Is it the Halig tree? Yeah, it does look like I was going to say that. It looks like Marika's bedchamber because it has those these. Like, those really look like the cloth in Marika's bedchamber, but, like, what does that mean? Because I'm assuming that's just a coincidence, because otherwise we have to face the possibility that the DLC has said it's actually tiny. It's like Ant-Man. And it's set entirely in Marika's bedchamber, which I don't think's gonna happen. Yeah, this does look... It looks new, but, like, it sort of makes sense that they would do it this way, where it's new, but it's made out of existing assets, kind of like the Old Hunters. Go back to the first scene. We'll play through and then we'll go back again.
In that forsaken place,
more jars.
blood must spill. Blood.
Those are... Hang on. Those aren't Trina lilies, are they? Because I was thinking this looks a lot like Melania's boss room. But those aren't the lilies. Those are different.
Blood
flowers.
must spill.
That's some kind of church. Hang on. Oh, sorry. Come back here. That looks very Undead Settlement from Dark Souls 3.
Erdtree faithful.
Oh, hang on. Is that like... He's wearing similar robes to Morgoth, isn't he? That, like, thing. Is he like a de-omened Morgoth? Or Moog? Yeah, that looks a lot like Morgoth like... The thing about the Regal Omens is, like, they're... According to the Regal Omen ban item, looks like it's drawn. Looks like they're born with the horns, so... Unless that's like... But... They can remove their horns. Like, they make a point about that. So maybe this is like an omen guy who removes his horn. Also, because I mean, alternate reality, like that figure next to him. That's not a deathbed companion, is it? It's hard to tell because the painting is so faded. Jars. That's... Oh god, that is like... I think Yui may have had a hand in this, because this is very, like, Crown of the Old Iron King looking. What is that? Is that like a... Oh, that's like a pipe, okay. Actually, yeah, it could be a perfume, because they make a point of the perfume as being there to, like, comfort people. As they're dying. Like, that's totally new, isn't it? Oh, actually, hang on. Check out the top there, because that looks like... Yeah, okay, I get it. That looks like those things that we said with the drapes. It's like everything's being drawn upward. Because you can see, like, the top of that castle is crumbling. It's treasure, oh my god. The top of the castle is crumbling, and, like, you can see it's... Maybe if I do make it full screen, you can see it better. Okay, you can't. Never mind. You can see there's all these little bits and pieces that are, like, going upward. So it's like everything's being drawn upward, and I think that's the source of these, like, line things. Yeah, it's being absorbed into something. Is this the thing is, it's hard to tell because it looks like... I don't think it's too small to be Lane-Del, but there might be Lane-Del assets in there.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing side of...
This is very funny to me because I remember way before we had any Elden Ring images, but we knew that From were making a game called Project GR. There was an obviously fake leak on 4chan that one of the bosses was a giant Wicker Man. And lordy, do we have a giant Wicker Man here. That's extremely cool looking. And like this sort of ties in with the idea of like fire being something that we don't... It's like... It's something that was taboo and then brought back again in the Lands Between. So I'm wondering if like... how significant this thing is going to be. Actually, hang on, let's go back a bit. That looked like... Sorry, I'm trying to do the frame skip thing on YouTube. Go back there.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing side of a...
Hang on. Can I zoom in? Oh, I can, okay. It's gonna be fun figuring out how to... I apologize. I don't have the ability to scroll left or right, which is annoying. What I'm trying to show is like... That face there, right? That is covered in omen horns. And I'm wondering, like, is this, like, something they burned omens in? It's interesting because it looks almost like a sun, but the sun is made of, like, the rays of the sun of these omen horns growing out. It's that, or it could be Deathblight. Actually, yeah, it looks like Deathblight. Yeah. So, I mean, it's either Omen Horn or... Because when Deathblight, you get those weird worm things. So I'm wondering if, like, this is a Deathblight thing. They're, like, burning things to get rid of... And that would make sense if this is, like, something to do with Godwin, because he's kind of the source of that. Hang on. So this... someone pointed out that looks a lot like a worm face, and it does. Worm faces have like legs though. This is like so it's like some like proto worm face thing. But I'd like to point out this is a move that the slug people do in Bloodborne, which means reuse Bloodborne assets. It's a wormier worm face. Oh, moon. This is the first time we see the moon in the trailer, isn't it? It's like yeah, it is like a leech or like a hagfish. How many fingers? 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like it has a normal amount of fingers. Here's the cool part. Okay, so this is very clearly based on the Morgott thing, but it's a lion. So this... Hang on. I think... Why did they make this so hard to navigate? Why is there 30 seconds of nothing at the start? Remember that painting? I might just start taking screenshots of these when we're done. I wonder if this is... Because it's a very Golden Lineage looking, because look, it's got the hair. It actually weirdly looks like Godwin. I don't think it is, but I am wondering if this is the guy from the painting. Like after he succumbed to the curse. That's the that bite attack is the attack that the ulcerated tree spirits do, where they go And since those spirits are the reused worm bosses from Dark Souls 3, we get reused Dark Souls assets. Yeah, see, like this looks like it's the area prior to that that like fucked up Erdtree. You can see there, like that in the corner, that looks like that deformed Erdtree thing. So this would be right before you get there. So yeah, this must be part of this. This might actually be like one of the Golden Lineage people between Godfrey and Godric, because we know there's Godefroy, everyone's favorite boss. And like if that's true, it's like, did they graft that? I don't think they grafted it, because it looks more like it's that Omen plague is like taking them over. And they make a point in the game that the omens are seen as like, if you made contact with the Crucible, the omen was a curse that came from that. You think it's multiple omen stuck together? Okay. You think it's like a grafted omen? Hang on. That's an interesting idea. Let's go back. Also, the lightning there. Like that's... Hang on. Cheerleader style omens. I'm glad Sin is in exhibit. We got Halsey to make Cheerleader Morgoth, his new character. Hang on. I'm trying to get a look at the feet. Thank you, Miyazaki. I'm trying to see how many feet it has. It might actually have like 4 humanoid legs. This actually looks like Ludwig. I was putting off saying it, but this looks a lot like Ludwig. Hang on, let's just keep going. Back up there. Back up there. Behave yourself. Yeah, this weirdly does look... This looks like if someone was like, I have an Elden Ring AU where Godwyn becomes an omen. It would look like this.
Mother, what's
Okay,
that
hang on. This is the dude. This is the guy who looks like he's the main sort of...
true
Is that
lordship?
Deathlight? No, it's... Oh god, here's the problem with Elden Ring. I counted. I think there are 7 or 8 distinct kinds of flame in Elden Ring, which makes it very difficult to determine what's going on. Is that like...
Sanction.
Okay. So... Oh god, this...
One so
Hang on.
bereft.
This is, because they, again, like, they make a big thing in Elden Ring about, like, the, sorry, I'm looking at the screen and the cropping is off and it's just getting to me. Yeah, Radigan's kid. That is, okay, red hair. Red hair so giant, and also flame so giant. So I'm now wondering if, like, I don't think it's Radigan. Hang on, they say mother. Let's go back. Oh, you know what? Hang on. See that? I think that might be a fake lion head. because you can see like that hand. It's like picking it up and making it close. So you know what this is like? The way that Godfrey wears Sarosh on his back, this looks like someone trying to impersonate Godfrey. It looks like, it looks like someone from the Golden Lineage trying to be Godfrey by sticking a fake Sarosh on their back. So this comes across as it's like Godric's lack of like, the way Godric is this failed attempt to kind of be Godfrey. This looks like the same thing. It's like he's like this blonde guy, we think probably the guy from the painting. And he's trying to be Godfrey by sticking a thing on his back. Yeah, those are definitely more God's feet. Like, this is an Omen character. So I wonder, is that even real? Is that... Someone mentioned it's like those parade dragons, like a Chinese dragon. Because it's not really moving like a real animal. It's moving like a puppet. Yeah, okay, there. See all these arms down the bottom? You can see there's like 2 hands there. Yeah, so actually, what it reminds me of is a Pinwheel. My apologies. The way that like Pinwheel's like all those people together with the big mask. This is like that. It's just really hard to get a sense of like that character's shape. Because they're moving so strangely. They're moving like a snake.
Mother.
Here we go. Hang on. That's blurred. Why did you put half an hour of nothing at the start? It makes it really hard to navigate. And pause. Snake.
Mother.
I thought it was blood, but it's a snake. Ah, because they make a big deal out of like the... Is this the world-devouring serpent? Because they make a big deal out of the like... The snakes being a symbol of people who were cast out.
Wouldst thou truly lordship sanction?
I have no idea. Was thou truly lordship something? See, that looks a lot like the dragon knights, like the way that it's that like bits of dragon stuck to the thing, but at the same time, it's like conjuring that flame. Oh, Mikola straight up shows up at the end of this. Caption should be available. Arabic. Okay, hang on. Oh! Okay.
So
Thank you. We're watching this again. Hang on. Actually, let's get to the end first.
bereft of light.
Those... See, I don't think it's pre-Snake Rykard. Because it doesn't really look like him. Why the low video quality? I don't know. I don't know why it's low. This is the same setting I always use. Oh, you mean on this? That's 720p for me. I'll make it 1080. I don't know. It might, if there's low video quality, it might just be the the connection. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those tree candlesticks. What do you look like? They look a lot like the Guardians. And they're in like a grave area. Yeah, you can see again, like, that's at the base of... Actually, to me, the like... The Erdtree shadow thing with the stuff going up, it reminds me a lot of the cracked sun from Old Hunters, where it's like sort of this singular thing tying everything together, and everything's being drawn toward it. So those... Ah! Lion! There it is. Do you think that is like that was someone else's beast regent? I haven't looked at the website at all. Is that like a... Because that, yeah, that's the same lion that you see on that dude. I'm wondering, is this just that guy's boss arena? Also, those butterflies, like, that's a Melania thing. But we assume Melania's not in this. So there must be some other, like, Scarlet Ionia... Some other Scarlet Ionia attack? I don't know. Okay, that wasn't the guy's arena because it was full of little zombie dudes. Okay, yeah, there we are. We're right at the face of that, It does. It looks like like one of the Chinese Guardian lines, like a food dog or something. Yeah, we're here, like... You know what that looks like? That looks like the fucked up Shadow World version of, like, a minor Erdtree church. Like, that's what they have here. Hey, kicking attacks. Yeah, see, like that... that place. See, I don't know if it's a map flip, I think, but you can see, like, those towers there, like, they're in the base game. Like, that's a base game asset. So my feeling is, like, it's going to be like the Hunter's Nightmare area in Bloodborne. Where it's, like, made out... It's, like, a twisted, like, version of the game world. It's so twisted that when the Joker plays this is actually the normal game to him. That is the Blighttown Ogres moveset, isn't it? We've already done the Dark Souls content. Okay, so we're getting a, like, hurl a gigantic exploding fire, like, jar thing attack. I wonder what... Is that going to be a weapon art or, like, an item? Because it's pretty bad. It's pretty big, I mean, it's like huge.
I presume you
Okay, hang on.
too are keen to know.
That's, I don't see... When I see this part here, like... Yeah, we can mark off Dreamworld. Hang on. What else? Yeah, what have we done? Okay, we're not quite finished yet. So, like, this area here, this looks like... Yeah, that's true. A hagfish is a sea monster, so we'll get that on a technicality.
Just
Not the same one. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So that shot, hang on, if we go back here again. In the forest.
I presume you.
So, like, this, I think, this might actually just be, like, Mistwood or something. Mark moveset reuse Sekiro, thank you. I also suspect that, like, that, the way it moves like an Asian dragon may be some, like, Sekiro thing, so we'll give Sekiro. Yeah, so, what I'm getting at here is, like, I think this might actually just be Mistwood. Hey, Tarnished Hollow, I'm doing surprisingly well considering it's 2:30 in the morning. This looks like just the base game area, and I think they're doing this to just show off that like automatic crossbow thing. Because there is an automatic crossbow in the game, but this fires like 5 in a row. You know what? This is Gale's crossbow. This is Gale's crossbow from Dark Souls 3.
To know.
Yeah, like that fires way more, because the repeating one in the base game, I think it fires 3. Because I do have a perfumer build. I have a perfumer build who is currently at the end game on level 25 with a +3 dagger. And she exists solely to co-op Morgott with people who are stuck on him. Do we see this?
Just what kind of...
Ah, red. That looks like... Hang on, that's like... That's not an actual enemy, it's being summoned, isn't it? Like you summon the dragon heads. Hang on.
I presume you, too, are keen to know.
See, that looks like the dragon roar attack that you do. But they've given it to this. Is that a wolf or a lion?
Just...
Yeah, actually you can see. Hang on, we'll turn the closed captions off. There's the character down there. So I don't know if this is like, it's a summoned into being thing, like the dragon incantations, or that's actually physically just carrying this weird bear head around. Could be, yeah.
What kind Mikola is doing here?
This looks rad as hell. I don't know what it is. The thing is, like, those aren't Mikola's lilies, are they? Like, this is very, very Hunter's Nightmare. The way it's, like, his stuff you recognize in the best game, but everything is, like, tilted and kind of broken. And I'm actually wondering that... I was thinking, is this like a PvP arena? Because I thought that was two players dueling, but I think that's just an enemy. Oh no, it's not two. I think that also counts as a Sekiro moveset. That, see, because the way that you have, like, the blue flowers, but then everything else is black and white, that makes me think of, like, it's almost like an Evergale effect. So I'm wondering, like, do you go into, like, a dream and fight this thing? Oh, I thought we were going to ride a boar. We're not. That is, that's a boss on it. That's really cool, because they've been trying to get a boss riding a pig since Demon Souls. There's, like, concept art of the fat ministers from Demon Souls riding pigs. And, we finally get it. It is Ganon, you're right. It's like a hippo porcupine? Okay. What is this? That looks like Orphan of Kos riding a horse? Hang on.
I presume you, too, are keen to know. Just what kind Mikola is doing here.
There we go. So hang on. I love this thing. It looks like a... What is... How do you pronounce, like, a Nuclavy? It's like a Celtic... It's like a Celtic sort of undead centaur monster. I think the ball... What? I'm trying to figure out what any of this is. Is it throwing its own arm? It's throwing its own arm. Okay, I stan whatever the fuck this thing is because it looks cool. Okay, it's like... That weirdly looks like Nishandra. It's like if you took Nishandra's dress off and replaced her head with a marble. It is a Knucklevi! Look, it's riding a horse. Actually, I forgot from that angle, it looks like the horse is, it's like the back half of the horse is melted. And yes, I want to point out that's literally the place you fight, what's that dragon? The dragon from the end of Dark Souls 3. Medea. Yeah, the back of the horse is like melted. See?
Those strips.
Okay. The person looks like they just don't exist below like the rib cage. We'll do the text later.
The race of gold shall...
There's our Do you reckon he's the boss? Oh yes, that's right. It looks like the closest thing to that in the base game is there's like a mimic to your helmet. It doesn't look exactly like that, but it makes this like reflective thing across your face. But that had like a perfect sphere for a head. Which, oh, you know what? Estelle and the falling star beat. It's a glintstone. Is it like a glintstone thing? Because they have those like glintstone spheres in their heads and stuff. Is it that?
Death in the race of Lesmus.
Now, hang on. I just want to go back for a second. You notice I have not... I don't think I've clicked the Reuse Bloodborne Assets button yet. Hang on, have I done that? I have used it, never mind. I was saving it for now because I recognize this attack. This, like... hit the ground and a bunch of spikes shoot out of it. That's something that Queen Yharnam and the Thumerians do. You know what those are? Are those the Deathrite bird things? Do we think it's a transformed... But the thing is, I think you see Mikola in this. Are those the Deathrite bird, like, spike things?
Come.
Oh, Mesmer! That's his name. Is it his name? Someone's called Mesmer. I feel like if Mesmer's Flame was the incantation name, Flame would also be capitalized. So I think this guy is actually Mesmer, because he's the one who's holding the flame and everything.
Come now.
Touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. That absolutely, like, confirms that's how you get there. That's a new weapon, isn't it? It's like a twin blade, looks like.
Touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Hang on. There, Mikola. Like, this would be Mikola. And I reckon that, that...
Death in the race of
line at the end of this, hang on.
Come now.
Come now, that sounds very childlike, but delivered to come now, touch the withered arm. I'm wondering if that's actually Mikola. Like, inviting you into the realm.
Touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
hang on, I reckon. Let's go back. That's a move the Crucible Knights do. That's a move the I don't think it's Rani either, because this doesn't look like any NPCs from the base game come back. So, like, I think that... Anyway, this move here, this is something the Crucible Knights do. And I'm assuming this is, like, going to be a new aspect of the Crucible incantation. It's like aspect of the Crucible wings.
May we meet again.
I'm guessing that's Mikola talking now. So where is this? Is this Mog? It's not Mogwin, is it? Oh, Mikola's gesturing to the tree. Hang on. Ah, yeah, there's tons of, like, you can see there's very obvious, like, Deathblight stuff at the top. Oh, yeah. Tarnish Hollow, we absolutely Mesmer looks like a Drake Knight. Someone's saying, like, yeah, Steven, this is probably the cutscene after you beat Mesmer. It actually wouldn't surprise me if, like, they just show the ending of the DLC in the trailer. Okay. Is that a new gesture, or is he just being weird? You know what that is? Is this... like a gesture representing the two half wheels of the centipede? Is this like a death gesture? Because the whole thing was like it was split into two. So is this like you're combining the two centipedes into the thing? I'm guessing that's the new gesture. Ring of Mikola, that makes sense. Okay. This is the first I've seen of it.
Pure and radiant, he...
Let's just mute it. So, like, we kind of established that's totally new. Mikola is supposed to have a rune, yeah. It's weird because, like, they get a little vague about who gets a rune and why. Because it's like, why did you give Moog a rune? If you also, like, I don't know. And, like, Rani's rune is, like, Rani mentions having a rune, but you never see it, and there's a theory that Rani's rune is, like, a pattern that's on the moon. But, like, that's never really confirmed or anything. It's just like, yeah, there is a weird pattern on the moon. But the thing about being born with a rune is, like, Rani, Radahn, and Rykard were born pre-Marika marrying Radagon. So they must have been given runes later on. Because they're her children by marriage. They were already adults when they became her kids. So it's like... she must have she divides it up and gives it to them, but it's sort of unclear how you do that. It's very vague. Yeah, this is the thing. Rani discards her rune, but, like, where did it go? Because the theory it's on the rune. On the moon. But, like I said, they never really confirm it's on the moon. That's just like there is a weird pattern on the moon. That's very Demon Souls. Yeah, this is the thing. Is the Rune of the Unborn a great rune? Maybe? Because if you look at, like, unused text and stuff, they went back and forth over, like, what rune does what a lot. Oh, is the Bridging Towers in the base game? So I think, actually, let's go back to it. I think quite a lot of this is probably in the base game. Like I said, it's very, Old Hunters-like. Okay, Bandai... Hang on. We'll just go to the... We'll just stop doing this. Bandai... Namco... Erp. This will be easy to deal with. Sorry, I've already got a Gundam trailer. Let's do this. That's better, thank you. Actually, what I'm gonna do, just make it easier on me, is I'm gonna pause this, and then I'm gonna change this to. I'm just gonna get rid of the cropping, and we should just be able to get the whole screen. Easy. And now it's gigantic, so we'll just shrinky. That's better. Okay, that should be easier to deal with. The original Armored Core games are amazing. The original Armored Core games are actually what got me into From Software in the first place. Which is very amusing if you then read the comments that I get that accuse me of being a fake fan who decided I liked Armored Core because it was popular now. Particularly given that certain someone in the community who is being lauded as someone who knows a lot about the series was only able to play the PS3 games because I sent them my copies of them that I had before they knew the series existed. Yeah, I've muted it deliberately because we've already covered it. Thank you, Pablo. I hope you're having a good day too. It is it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's the middle of summer here, so it is really goddamn hot. This room's very stuffy, and I can't run my fan because then you can't hear me because there's like in the background. So, so that. They talk about, like, at the end of it, like, those without the... Oh, well, to shrive is to, like... It's to cut something off, isn't it? Is that shrieve? Anyway, yeah. They talk about people dying, and, like, those without the grace of gold will die and travel to here, so... That's presumably why there's all these gravestones. Do we think Mikkel is trying to redeem them? Oh, you're in Melbourne. I'm in Ballarat, where it's slightly colder. So you can kind of notice, like, that bridge is, like, that's a base game asset. Anything else a base game asset? Oh, there's Deathroot everywhere. Look at that. Oh yeah, so Magna, we talked about the drape thing, and like, it's weird because it's that, but it also looks like all this stuff's being drawn toward, like, it's almost like the sky is being sucked into this like hole. It's like everything's being pulled upward. You can see, like, when we get closer to it, there's these like bricks and things are coming off the castle and being pulled upward. But yeah, there's Deathroot everywhere. That's really familiar to me, and I think it's in Demon Souls. Unless this is in Elden Ring and I'm just having a brain fart. Like that symbol. That's Mikkela's rune, isn't it? Yeah, that looks like Mikkela's rune. I'm guessing that's supposed to be Mikkela's rune. Trying to figure out, what does this look like? Yeah, it looks like the floor of the Nexus, but now I'm thinking that just looks like Miquella's rune. So this is very old Hunters. It's like all these awful things have been sent to this place and we just have to go and kill all of them. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's very D-like. I'm just trying to see if there's any, like, kind of... That looks like, what's it called? The designs you see on the Farum Azula weapons. That, like, sort of twirling stone thing. Look at that. See, is that decorative or is that literally a huge screw that's going to lift something up? Oh, there's an Insta post about it now. Okay. I just woke up and sat here. Hello, Night of the Orchards. They lost a war. Okay. See, I've only seen this. I haven't followed anything else up. Look at that later. That's is that flame or like a is that glintstone? No, I don't know what it is. Big mask stuff going on. Actually, I'm wondering, is she also meant to be evocative of a snake, and that's meant to be like a frill, like a cobra? I don't know. Poison Swamp. See, that's really Dark Souls. Okay, this is the dude. What if that's Saint Trina? See, like that, to me, it's sort of like that guy, like clearly that's some like golden lineage guy who he's dressed like Morgott pre-omenification, but Morgott's born like that. So I don't think it is Morgott unless it's Morgott and he's cut all his horns off. And I'm wondering if, like, is that St. Trina showing up to, like, because you can't really see, but are those, like, eye patterns? The braids, like, it's got the braids. And yeah, okay, I think that's St. Trina. I think that might be St. Trina comforting the people who lost this war. It's weird because it's like they lost a war, but they're living in a parallel dimension. Did they get exiled there, or did they come from here, or... Yeah, when Morgott dies, his horns go away. So I'm like, is that... Is it Morgott, or is it like one of the other omens? Because I'm thinking about how this functions. Rationally, logically, if we can get there through the Miquella... If we can get to this place through the Miquella hand in Mogwyn, that means you could literally do this after fighting one boss, who would be Moog, because you could run to where Vare is, join the Covenant, invade some people, use the medallion, warp to Mogwyn, and then fight Moog, and then go there immediately. Now, so that says you would not actually have to kill Morgott to get there. However, it's possible that you need some item to activate it, and that item might be gated off behind Morgott. In the same way that, like, in Bloodborne, like, the Amygdala hand is always there, but you need the eye to make it work, which only happens after Amelia. So if it's something like that, I don't know. Like that's those pillars and everything, that's the sort of interior of the mountains, places you go to. Like when you go inside those weird ruins and there's just like this sort of catacombs going through the mountains, but it's unclear, like they seem to predate everything else. You need to kill Godric. Oh, okay. You need to kill Godric Vivara to move to Lyonia, so you would need... Okay. Maybe it is Morgoth then. See, this is those, like, the inside parts of the... When you go inside the mountains. So it's that design. So presumably that's carrying over to this, like, dream world. Or whatever it is. And this is extremely, like, Old Iron King. Oh, okay, you have to speak to the two... If you have to speak to the two fingers to get his dialogue, though, couldn't you beat another one? Because you can skip Godric entirely, can't you? Like, you only need 2 runes, so you could just do, like... You could beat, Renala. And then head to, like, Rykard or something. I'd have to, like, look over it again. Actually, those, that, like, stonework is, again, like, that's the stuff you find inside, isn't it? You can be right, yeah. See, there... Oh, hang on, let's go back a bit. So you can see there, it's, like, bits of the, Can I zoom in? No, I can't. Fuck. Okay. You can see that there's, like, the tower is crumbling and being sucked upwards. And, like, that's also... That looks like it's falling off the tree, but, like, that... I'm wondering, is that the source of those, like... The drape-looking things? Because they do look like drapes. But it also kind of looks like the sky is being torn upwards. Okay, we're obviously going to have to check out, like, the official text on this, because I haven't read it yet. And yeah, this is, I'm guessing it's, like, this is... either... See, I think those are omen horns. But they might also be the little worm things that burst out of you when you get death rooted. So I'm wondering, is this like a thing that they burn omens in? And again, like that's very reminiscent of the way Dung Eater, who's like obsessed with omens, his symbol is that sun. It's like, is that Dung Eater's sun? Because it's not the same design, but it's a similar like motif, the idea of like a sun that's crowned with these horns. And there's our hagfish thing. Actually, hang on. Let's go back. It's a very Wicker Man, yes. This is weird because we don't... As far as I remember, there's no other, like, night sequences. So I'm like, is this even... Is this in the DLC, or have they just added, like, a weird hagfish thing to Lyonia? Because this could just be Lyonia. Because that's... It's not the plateau, because it's only the one moon. But yeah, see, this... Here we go. That... This says to me, like, that lion head is not real. For people who only just joined, we were talking about this earlier, but it looks like this, this character is kind of trying to be... he's trying to mimic Godfrey by, instead of having like the Beast Regent Sarosh, he's got this like bootleg AliExpress Sarosh that's like stuck to him. But yeah, Chinese dragon, that's the thing. It doesn't look real. It looks like it's either it's entirely fake, or it's like the skin of an actual lion over like a wooden frame. Because those teeth don't look like, they just look fake. Like, this is very, yeah. And you can see, like, it's got the lion statues. That, that looks a lot like actually what's going on with the tree, because it's this, like, wound knot, and then it goes out like that, and that looks like what the tree is doing. Where it's these two intertwined things, and then it starts to go out like that. And there's those weird statues that, like, they're all over the place and no one knows who they're supposed to be. Because they're in the eternal cities, but they're also everywhere else. And it's like, who is this supposed to be? That's the courtyard to the bridge in Landell. Is it? Yeah, it looks a lot like it. It's hard to tell. Yeah, this is, okay, here's the part we're interested in. Okay, who's he talking about? So we're just going to say off the bat, Mother is Marika. I know he doesn't say Marika, and sometimes he's like, well, we could actually be talking about someone else. It's Marika. Yeah, this is one of those things where, like, it's very obvious he's talking about Marika, but then someone's going to be like, actually, it never says Marika. He could be talking about Rena. It's Marika. Okay, yeah, it could be Grail. We don't know. To be fair, like, we just did an episode about how dragons take human form, and Vike possibly fucked one, so... It could be Big Mama from MGS3, you're right. It could be the Nameless Blood, it gets the thing. I think, to me, it's the fact he says sanction lordship, because Marika's the one who decides who is a lord. His mum could be Vara. I'm glad Sin is in here, he's like, Mother's of Elden Ring! It's like, again, that's clearly, like, very, very Drake Knight-like, and he's got the snakes. Yeah, let's just get close to this dude, because that's... Like, that's red hair. Red hair and golden eyes. Which means, like, hang on, let's go back a little bit. Are they gold eyes or Drake eyes? Or are they golden Drake eyes? Yeah, they're Drake eyes. Yeah, they've got the vertical slit pupil. This is interesting because, like... What? Like, the dragon stuff in Elden Ring, it's sort of, like, kind of off to the side. It's like a historical event, but as the game is now, there's just, like, a bunch of dragons hanging around. They're not super, like, involved in the world. So I don't know, it's weird to think that, like, is the final boss of the DLC is, like, a dragon guy? Like, are they gonna do retcon a bunch of stuff about dragons in? Like, there's that line again. Godwin does have a connection with dragons. I'm just trying to put this all together in my head, though, because, like, Godwin has a relationship with Fortisax and the dragons, except Godwin, there's not really an indication that Godwin's a Drake Knight, or that Godwin wanted to, like, absorb anything draconic. He's not depicted that way. And also, like, that guy's got red hair, which means giant descent. So, like, I'm trying to figure out what relationship he could actually have to Godwin. Because he couldn't be one of Godwin's kids, because he wouldn't have, like... He wouldn't have the red hair. He'd be one of, like... I don't think he could be one of Radagon's. Yeah, okay, so Agent Funk is like, this could be Melania's not rotten twin brother. Okay, he does say mother. He says mother, so it has to win America's kids. America did bang Radagon. So they're gonna do the thing they did in Dark Souls 3, where they, like, retcon in another kid who, like, you think they would have mentioned by now. Yes, Mesmer does look like Elric. And, like, that makes sense given the Martin connection. There's a lot of, like, little literary references in Elden Ring that, like, they're not, I don't really talk about them because they're not super, like, relevant to anything. They're just, like, little references, like Moonglum and stuff like that. And the way that you have, like Wyndham Ruins, and after John Wyndham, and the like gory and Millicent stuff. And, like, it's like it's a neat reference, but it doesn't actually really change anything about the world. It's basically an Easter egg. So yeah, but I can absolutely believe that, like, this is an Elric influence looking thing. There we go. Let's go back. Someone's getting my you need to read 3 books to understand Elden Ring joke that I did, like, off the cuff in a stream once. The guy who inspired that, who was, like, trying to get in a fight with Sin and I to make us show up on his channel to debate us, that was, like, about 18 months ago, and he's still doing it. It's the saddest thing. He's just this, like, full-time reply guy on Twitter trying to get Souls people to debate him. It's just pathetic. Okay, yeah. So this is Boss Fog. Herb brought that up. So, like, that's Boss Fog, but, like, that... Does that look like a boss to you? Because I don't know what side of the fog we're on. Because this looks very Boss Arena-like, in that it's, like, a big open space. But that just looks like a knight. And granted, like, a lot of Souls bosses are just a knight, and then they break out some impossible moveset. But, that, like, let's make this high definition. Let's make this 4K. Okay, cool. It's only slightly clearer. But, like, so I'm wondering, is that someone guarding a boss fog, or is that the boss? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it could be an ad during the boss fight as well. I can imagine that, absolutely. The problem is, it's 4K, but it's being sent to my, like, completely shit external monitor that's not 4K, so it's not even rendering in 4K. Yeah, like, this is very, like, the run-up to Stormvale. Like, you got, like, the ramp, the little, like, barrier things, and, like, those towers, and... Yeah, like the Draconic Tree Sentinel before Malekith. Or, like, the way that there's just knights hanging around outside Osseros. Actually, hang on. If we assume that is an ad during a boss fight, we can add a base game boss, but there's 2. Hang on, Miquella's Rune, also. No one says Shadow of the Erdtree. I don't think any base game enemies are on fire. Base game boss with weird aura, so like when you're fighting that the guy who's got the Chinese dragon lion, he does like a lightning thing that Morgoth doesn't do, so I reckon we can do that one. We never got an eclipse, did we? Or Renna. I think we kind of... I'm going to say we got meteorites based on the weird glintstone head that Nuclear thing had. No one says Shadow of the Erdtree. Didn't get Young Marika. We can get a boat, sadly. Yes, Mesmer's mother is Velka. I'm going to take it off 4K because it's got a buffering thing, and this is not a 4K monitor, so it makes no difference. The place I work has a 4K monitor, and the first thing we did to test it was we streamed Sin playing Lies of P because I knew that had gone out in 4K. I think the young blonde at the end is Mikola. It's like that's a new armor set. Oh god, that's so fucking berserk looking. It just struck me. That looks like Guts' armor with a different head. Mikkel's rune is an eclipse, so does that count? We'll see. I don't want to be accused of cheating. It's like across from Amnesiac Lap and Guts' armor. Like that's new, and like those are... Okay, here's the thing. Perfumer bolts. Perfumer bolts are really goddamn cool, and they're quite strong, and you can't buy them, and you can't craft them. The only way to get perfumer bolts currently in Elden Ring is to fight perfumers, and they drop like a very, very small amount very rarely. So my perfumer build, unfortunately, has to take the L and just buy explosive bolts from the merchant in Gelmir. So if they add either crafting or buying perfumer bolts, I'm gonna be very happy. So we're back here again. That's... See, like, what animal is this? Because it could be a bear. It could be a demi-human. It's got omen horns. And it's red. So is this like the way that the Empyreans are granted wolves? Like, is this a... It doesn't... The problem is it doesn't... Its snout's too short to be a wolf, but I don't know what else it is. Actually, don't say wolves, do they? They say, like, shadow-bound beasts, and I'm wondering, is that, like, the beast that was given to Mesmer? It's... Okay, so, Gyobu, hang on, I'll take the caption off. You can see there's, like, someone standing under it. It looks like it's that attack where you do the dragon, the screamy dragon roar, but it's like an incantation, but it's summoning this weird head. Yeah, it's a rune. The thing is, it's a rune bear, but it's got, like... We don't encounter rune bears with red hair or with the horns, do we? So that's neato. So I wonder if that's going to tie into that, Melania's tutor being this, like, drifting sword. Like, obviously that's a lady. But, the drifting swordsman that taught Melania. They're dressed very much like the blue dancer charm, if anyone remembers that. But that's red. Is this going to be the red dancer charm? Or are they just going to do like that? Red dancer charm confirmed. Okay, here's the piggy dude. Okay, this is fucking hideous. It's hard to get a good look. Like, this is the best look you get at it, I think. And it's like a hippo. I'm trying to figure out, is this meant to be like a... It's just like a weird animal, isn't it? Like, it doesn't look like it's supposed to be a specific creature. It's like a... I mean, it... What is this? Hippogator, correct. I'm just trying to figure out if it's supposed to be something or it's just a weird, like, chimera beast for this. Yeah, like that. But now I'm wondering, like, what's the significance of this, if any? Is it just an attack it's doing, or, like... Because, I mean, that... At the end of it, you see Mesmer doing an attack where he sticks his spear on the ground, all these spears suddenly erupt, and it's like... It's weirdly similar to that, but that's... I don't know if that's significant or it's just a coincidence. Lordy. And it's like... It looks like a golden lineage thing, because it's runic, isn't it? Because it's that rune effect of the Shattering Rune. Yeah, the Clean Rot Spear attack. It looks like... Let's go back. Like, that's some sort of incantation. Like, yeah, hang on. Because when it hits the ground... Let's freeze frame this. Yeah, they come out of its back, like, down, and they suddenly shoot up. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Oh, you know what that is? I've got it now. It's finally realized. That looks like the attack Elden Beast does. Where it shoots all those, like, lasers up in the sky, and then they start tracking you. And you have to run around in circles like an idiot while there's these lasers falling on you. It looks like it's doing that. See, like, let's go back a bit. See, it goes boom, and then suddenly... See, they're all shooting upward. Is this, like... just a really fucked up Elden Beast? It's got a mustache. This looks like the Snollygoster that Sin and I did an episode on. It's got a weird... You can't really tell what it is, but there's this, like, thing on its back. I don't know what... Is that, like, a wound or, like, a... It's got a weirdly human face as well. Like, it's sort of... Like, the eyes seem to be there, but it's got this big snout coming out. So here's our Knucklevi thing. Oh, you know what this is? This actually, like, it's not the same model. But the, that head thing, I think that's actually from Demon Souls. Like, way back. There's, like, a cut Demon Souls enemy. It's like a statue with a completely spherical head that goes... and tries to eat you. But yeah, this is our, like, melted Knucklevi centaur thing in Midia's cave. With Orphan of Koz's skin. Actually, this also looks like maybe where you fight Ancestor Spirit. Oh, hang on, there's something going on over the other side. Is the character using a rune, or... Oh, no, they were blocking it, okay. Yeah, it's on a saddle, but, like, the look of it... You can see it's got these tiny little legs, and then the horse is, like, half melted. It's like Medea... It's somewhere between Medea and Ancestor Spirit. Yeah, that is, like... It's like a half-formed Estelle, almost, but I don't think it is an Estelle thing. Oh, it's got little eyes. I thought that was a reflection, but it has little tiny eyeballs. So unfortunately, that means this is not a meteorite. And we're going to have to remove the meteorite from our bingo card. Yeah, that looks very albinoric. Someone who just said that. Yeah, Cavisto. Like, because the idea of the albinorics needing to rely on animals to ride on because they're melting, but then the horse itself is also melting, so the horse has damaged legs. Yeah, so that's extremely albinoric. But then it's like, it's albinoric, but it's also like a zombie. And yeah, that, again, it's that Morgoth thing. Oh my god. Like, yeah, like I just pointed out, that this character doesn't, like, it looks like they're just a torso. Like, they're below the rib cage, there's nothing. And you can see, like, they seem to be stabbing, like, they're conscious and they're stabbing themselves, that thing that's going through their body. And, like, that's the same, like, robe that guy in the painting's wearing. And I don't know if it's the same, because the thing is, like, this goddamn dynasty of Marika's kids, like, there's just so many of them, and it's been going for so long that it becomes like how many, every time you see a character that looks like a different character, it's like, is this supposed to be the same person, or is it like their ancestor from 2,000 years ago? It's like such a... Is he pulling out a horn? Okay, let's go. Hang on, we can just playback speed. That's better. Yeah, he's pulling on it. He's trying to pull... This is the thing. Is he trying to pull it out? Looks like the Melania blade. It does a little bit. But it's like it's covered in all these little barbs that go down. So I don't know. It looks like a lot. This is the thing about Elden Ring, where, like, there's just so many, like, if you think about, like, all the times it uses fire, or all the times it uses, like, roots, all the times it uses branches, all the times it uses, like, specific kinds of branched or barbed swords. Like, there's just so many of them, and they all end up being different things. So it's like, in a lot of ways, it's the opposite of talking about something like Bloodborne, where it's like everything is hyper compressed. So it's like, it's blood. So it's like there's like one everything about the blood focuses on like one. It's like one specific thing. Whereas here it's like, how many kinds of flame are there? There's like 7 or 8. So is this... Where is this? Has a snake tail? Hang on. I think that's actually an Akami woman moveset from Sekiro, isn't it? Where they jump in the sky and start shooting arrows. Yeah, he has 2 snakes wrapped around him from what I... Actually, do we know it's 2 snakes, or is it 1 snake with a head on either end that he's, like, wrapped around himself? What does it mean? Yeah, there's no frenzy, interestingly. Which is, like, really interesting given that it's a Miquella thing, because Miquella's deal is, like, calming people. And there's all that Miquella stuff about, like, calming the merchants. So there's, like, snake. I gotta figure out where these snakes begin and end. the best look at Mesmer. I can't tell if it's like, maybe we'll try from a different angle, but hang on. See, there's like one snake there and then another snake there, but they both go to the back. So I'm wondering, is it two snakes or is it one snake with a head on either end? Because that's super... Oh, the figurine, okay. The dramatic fades to black at like 0.25 speed make me think that like the video's frozen. So those are like... sort of a runic thing with like the half. But again, he's... like, of all the things, right, I was not expecting a Drake Knight focused boss. Yeah, hang on, yeah, it's like curled around there, the snake goes around there. This could even be grafting. I guess he grafted snakes to himself. I'm sure this is irrelevant completely, but it's making me think of like... is it Zoro? There's a Zoroastrian, like, evil god figure who's like a king, and he cuts like something and snakes grow out of his shoulders. He looks a lot like that. Yeah, he's like, this is the thing. It's Drake blood, obviously, but also a giant, but also the snakes from the Gladiator thing. And I am... yeah, Azidaka, thank you. I'm wondering if... was it Zahak? Or are they the same thing? Anyway, I am wondering if they're gonna like retcon in that the reason snakes are hated in the lands between is because of this guy. Snakes on a plane. Snakes on a plane of being. Let's go back a little bit. Yeah, it's the same, like, kind of crescent design. And also there's that like, twirling spiral look to it that a lot of other things around here have. Yeah, see, it looks like the snake goes there, and then around, and then down. So I actually think it's a two-headed snake. Yeah, so it's like snake goes... which fits with the whole, like, the use of twins and things in Elden Ring. I read Shadow of the Morb Tree as Shadow of the Morb Tree, and it's like, oh god, are we still doing Morbius memes? It's my fault for bringing up Madam Web at the start. Okay, so other people's cast suggest he could be a dragon in human form, which is like... that's... the thing is, he says mother and lordship, which makes me think it's Marika, but like... if a dragon were in human form, I can imagine it looking like this. It's just... it's like... he's a Drakeblood knight who's also a giant, who's also a gladiator. Okay, but the thing about him saying mother is he talks about, like, who's granting lordship, and that's, like, a Marika thing, from what we can tell. Like, she's the one who's deciding that stuff. Okay, great. This is obviously Mikola. So, like, I don't know. Okay, he's directly in front of that. How many times are we going to do this? Is that just supposed to be the player character? Hang on. Okay. Yeah, it looks a lot like Melina, but then it's like... You would expect there to be Melina dialogue? Yeah, it looks like a variant on Melina. I don't know. I wonder if they'll retcon this to not actually be Mikola's body, because it's extremely weird that it's like Mikola's growing. And boy, howdy did Mikola grow from this, like, tiny little child thing into this 8-foot tall ape monster. Yeah, I don't know, it's some sort of, like, traveling robe. It could be a spirit tuner. It could be a new NPC. It looks familiar, but I can't exactly place it. It's also weird that there doesn't seem to be much, like, Moog stuff in there, given that's who kidnapped Mikola in the first place. Oh, it's okay, Sin still hasn't beaten Fire Giant. Like, it's fine. Yeah, this is the thing about, like, where is this place? Because it's... On the basis of this, I would just assume it's, like, an afterlife Shadow Realm. But then there are people saying that, I haven't read it yet, that on the, like, official Bandai Namco place, they talk about this actually as if it's just a place people came from. And they lost a war or something. We'll have to look at that later. I don't think Sim will ever finish Elden Ring. So there's that, like, spiral design that you also see on Messmer's, hang on, back. There are fucking lilies. There are Trina lilies here. They're just not there. There we go. There. And, like, that's, what is it, the masks that the nobles wear in Landell, where they talk about, like, it's like, it looks a lot like that, with, like, the white hair at the back. I wonder if that's like the Rico figure who's seeking Centrina. I mean that's like those are Ray Lucaria assets. Yeah, the Mirai set, yeah. Those look like Ray Lucaria assets, but I think they're probably just reused on this. Well, okay, here's the thing. Those look like Ray Lucaria assets. That looks like Glintstone. But this is not set in Raya Lucaria. So, like, is this an exiled Raya Lucaria queen? Because that sort of lines up. Yeah, it's like the bird. What I'm pointing at, like the bird cage and stuff, like that's Ray Lucaria. That looks kind of Eternal Cities-ish, and then this looks like Glintstone. Yeah, it could be the. This is the thing about like the Queen before Renala. It looks like, yeah, it's kind of similar to Renala's headdress a bit. Actually, is that like a full moon design? I don't know. But the thing about well, I can't remember what I was saying then because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. But hang on, let's just retrace where I was talking. Hang on. Yeah, the thing about like this DLC is this. Oh, here's what I was saying. Okay, you know, that's what it looks like. It's Onyx Lords. It's Gravity stuff. Gravity stuff's purple. And we know that, like, the what's it called? The Royal, and it's the Everjail near Caria Manor. The Royal Grave. It's something, the Royal Grave or something. But it basically confirms that, like, the Onyx Lords and the Alabaster Lords were, like, somewhere in the Carian royal family. So I'm wondering, is this like is this going to be like an Onyx Lord Raya Lucaria thing? Yeah, Royal Grave Everjail, there we go. Because this stuff here, like, Gravity's purple, isn't it? In Elden Ring. Like, the Gravity stuff's purple, but I think there's some flowers that are as well, but that's like, this is literally rock. So this might be like some old Carian queen. We're pretty sure that's Centrina. That could be the guy who's impaling himself at the end. Yeah, like, I think that's pretty obviously Centrina. Yeah, it's the Celia Tunnel Cave. It's like this weird glintstone stuff. It's like, that's Saint Trina. That's some dude. It's probably not Morgott. Because it's probably the guy who's stabbing himself. Oh, you know what? Beautiful Baron 2D said, I think that's going without his hat. I think, what if this is... my brain's melting right now. What if this is that photo that Maria has, and they've retouched it? I'm not fucking joking. Because that photo, if you, like, it's a really small texture, but if you zoom in, it kind of looks like two figures and one is seated. If this, I'm gonna scream if it turns out this is the retextured Maria photo from Bloodborne. I'm gonna screenshot this and send it to my friends. Hang on. That's incredible. And, like, that's the wheelchair, and that's the... Oh, my God. So this is, like... I'm wondering if we're going to get any more information about the... One of the interesting parts of Elden Ring is when you kind of go inside of the mountains, and there's those, like, massive sort of, like, maze structures inside that, like, they don't look like anything else in the game. It's, like, architecturally, it's, like, there's that massive, kind of, like, aqueduct area in the place where you fight, which is the magma worm. There's two, Makar. And there's, like, all that glints of the ruined stone precipice. Like, it sort of looks like that, and we don't really get much confirmation on, what that was. Because it doesn't match anything else. Like, it doesn't look like the catacombs. It doesn't look like a lot of things. And, I'm wondering if we're going to get some, like, background on that. Because it's also in this, like, realm. Hang on, are those? That looks like two figures seated. Unless they're... Yeah, or they're maybe just corpses. Yeah, the Limgrove Seaside Architect, that's what it looks like. This is interesting because we don't actually see, like any other shots of a kind of fire area. We see the big burning Wicker Man thing. We don't see this. Oh, and it's... Hang on, go back a little bit. If you look at that, it's turning. Yeah, it's... I'm wondering, is this like... See, I look at that and I assume it's collapsed and fallen. But if that's turning, it's like, is this like a screw, like a water screw that's pumping like lava up through it into something else? Yeah, like a cement mixer for lava. Like that's... Yeah, because I thought, oh, that's collapsed. No, but that's spinning. You can see it's like churning. So it looks like, is it like pumping the lava upward? Like, that's kind of, Leyndell-like, but it's clearly not Leyndell because it's tiny. They were never... Okay. Yeah, lava turbine. I wonder if we can get a better look at what's inside that. I just love that the fake rumor about there being a Wicker Man boss in Elden Ring turned out to be true in the DLC. Losing sight of the war, I think that is, if this is where, like, all the people who aren't blessed by the Erdtree go. Oh, that's what it fucking is, isn't it? Because Marika gives everyone, like, the grace, right? Which keeps them alive. But there's going to be people who don't have it, who are... Therefore, when they die, they have to go somewhere. So it's like, as people are dying, they're being sent to... It's like this afterlife place. They're going there. Because they can't go back into the Erdtree and get spat out again. So that's what they meant, losing sight of a war. It's like everyone who lost to Marika died and went here because they can't go back into the Erdtree. Oh, when they say they never saints, I think it's just figurative. Like, it's just like they... What the narrator seems to be saying to me is it's like, hey, Mikkel has gone to this horrible place to try to redeem everyone, but you need to understand the people there, like, they weren't necessarily, like, good people or even the victims. They just lost a war with Marika. And actually, it would make sense, again, if, like, if like this omen shit's there because they're hunting down omens. Yeah, Marika is a mishmash. Everyone who doesn't like Messmer's a mishmash of people who don't like Marika. So he kind of it's so odd to me that like I would not have picked a Drake Blood Knight to be the final like villain of this DLC. Oh look, there's little hands. It's got little hands sticking out. Oh, giant head. Look. There's a giant head stuck on that. It's got like, there's the face and there's like the red beard. Yeah, that's the thing, because you'd say like, okay, it's fire giant. There's so much. It's like everything is mashed together. So it's like fire giant. Oh, do you reckon that they just like maybe that's powering it? Maybe they stuck a fire giant head on to power the flame. That like actually feels weirdly appropriate. Because this is like, it looks like it's there to burn omens. I mean, okay, either it's got all this omen iconography on it, so either it is omens, it's like an omen mech, or it's something that they burn omens in. But then it's got this fire giant head stuck to it, and I'm like, because when you beat fire giant in phase 1, like he actually rips his foot off, and the foot becomes the source of the flame. Like it like catches fire. So presumably there's actual like some sort of fire in the fire giants. Have they literally shoved a fire giant's head here as like a means of keeping this flame going? That, or they've just killed a fire giant and it's just like a trophy. Yeah, people are saying, is Messmer even the real villain? Like, I mean, if you think about, again, like Old Hunters, like it zooms in on Maria at the end, and Maria's not really like, she's not really the villain of Old Hunters. She's like the halfway point. Yeah, so like that. See, that does look a lot like a worm face without worms. And that's like interesting in and of itself, because the worms are like they're like a death thing. So is this like, if you purge death from a worm face, would look like that? Okay, here we go. This is the lion. The lion. It absolutely looks like, to me, hang on, we'll wait for it. It looks to me like this might be a I'm thinking of the Mr. Findel, where there's like a wooden Priscilla looking doll with some snakeskin on it. It looks like that's taxidermied. Like this is some sort of like beast regent who's dead, and they've like put like a wooden mechanism inside to like keep it together, and it's just the skin on the mechanism, because it doesn't look like it's alive. And like those, it just looks like it has lights for eyes. See, I don't... Yeah, people have said this before. It does look a lot like a Chinese dragon, like a dragon float. And I think it almost... It's like Godric's doing with his dragon, but it's a puppet. It's like here's a puppet lion. Yeah, it's... Oh! It is a float. Look, there's a whole lot of them in a row. Like, the feet are down there. And the arms are up there. So, it's pinwheel. It's the pinwheel design. It's like a bunch of dudes in a row with, like, a symbolic, ceremonial lion thing. Hence it using the move set of the ulcerated tree spirit, which is a snake. Yeah, there we... Hang on. Go back. There's the legs. Oh, hang on. Is it? Hang on. There's the legs, right? Yeah. There we go. Legs, legs. So it's like a pantomime horse. It could be like the Revenants, like it could be a bunch of people stuck together, but that literally looks like a pantomime horse. It's like two guys, and the one at the front has the lion head. This is cool. Yeah, see, there's like, yeah, it's two dudes. It's Rent-A-Ghost. And is that going to be like a death thing? Is this going to be Deathblight? Yeah, use your shield against Deathblight, that'll work. Yeah, it's like legs, and then there's like other ones up here. I know if it was it might just be like Storm or something. It's sort of grey. Yeah, it's the lightning that Ishin uses. See, I'm wondering if like the flame of Mesmer is just going to be like a completely distinct kind of flame, you know? Like, we're not supposed to see it as like the giant's flame or the something else flame, like it's just another... He looks like... Oh God, he looks like a giant offspring that became a Drakeblood Knight that is also related to Marika. See, and there's this cloth that's draped over that. But see, the weird thing about it, if it's Radigan's backstory, is like, he's saying mother and talking about lordship, so he's talking to Marika, who's Radigan's wife. So, is this Radigan and Marika's kid who they just don't mention? Because I can believe that, because the Dark Souls 3 DLCs introduced they introduced Gwyn's firstborn daughter, who's just never mentioned anywhere else, and also Yorshka. Yeah, this is an Ionia, like, Scarlet attack that we don't see in the base game, so that's like... I don't know where we're going to get that from. She is using so she must be using a seal if it's an incantation. Hang on. Let's have a look at it. It's that. I don't use incantations in Elden Ring, so I don't really know what the seals look like, but for all I know, this is a seal that's for the DLC. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, it's a Melania Rock Goddess thing, but like, Melania's not in the DLC, is she? She's in the base game. Yeah, it's the lion behind her. Oh yeah, we've been talking about the Draping Moon for a while. So I'm guessing like that lion was like, it's getting back to the beast regent thing. That like everyone needs a beast regent. So it's like this place. Okay, if I had to guess right, I would say that that lion was the regent of the guy in the painting with Centrina. And that lion has died. And it's like being kept symbolically alive through this like pantomime lion. While the guy that was in the painting is the impaled guy at the end who can't die. What's this attack doing? It's like... Oh, hang on. Let's go back a bit. Yeah. See, that's the other, like, use of purple. See, it has this, like, cosmic look to it. It's the sort of, like, the stars fading in and out. I should go back. Like, I know that, like, shaders are shaders and they're probably reusing them, but it's, like... It's that sort of star look with these, like, ripples coming out, which is not something I particularly associate with Melania. It could be a love spell. You're right. This could be because Miquella's whole deal is like making people love him. So is this going to be the equivalent of like the rapport stuff from Dark Souls, or the puppet ninjutsu from Sekiro? No, they're definitely butterflies because the butterflies show up at the start. Like, there they are. And then they... Yeah, the butterflies explode into little stars, which is something Melania does. But those, like... I don't know, the weird sort of, like... Yeah, it's like a charm attack? Because Melania's butterflies, I think they look slightly... I would have to go back and check. But Melania's butterflies, I think they look different. They have a more sort of, like... There's more of them, and they have a different texture to them. They're less sort of like... They're less, sort of glowy and clean. Yeah, and it makes sense for them both to have butterflies, because, like, they're twins and Miquella's in a cocoon. Yeah, they're more fungal. That's the word I'm looking for. For anyone just joining us, it's 4 o'clock in the fucking morning for me. And, yeah, I, have a lot of things to do. So what I did was I slept for about 2 hours, got up and streamed this, and then I'm gonna go to sleep after this, get up again. Yeah, there are butterflies associated with Miquella as well. I should sleep, but I'm not going to. That's Guardian Ape's roar, isn't it? Is this just Guardian? This is Guardian Ape's severed head. You know, when you fight the second phase of Guardian Ape and it's holding its severed head up and it's roaring, it's that, and they've stuck some red fur on it. Bravo. Bravo. See, I wonder if, yeah, like I was saying, is that meant to be the, like, the beast that was granted to Mesmer? No. I'm sure it's, like, I'm sure it's not supposed to be an ape. I'm saying that animation is, like, they've just slightly redesigned Guardian Ape's head. And instead of it being held like that, it's being held from underneath. No, but I think it's like that roar is it's the bear head as well, but like that's Guardian Ape's roar, isn't it? And like this part here, like you see like it's everything around it's black and white apart from the field you're in, which makes me think like this is probably like this is like an Evergale kind of thing, or like a dream or something that you touch someone, you go inside and you're fighting in a little self-contained little zone. The Empyrean, like, beast things are sort of all over the place, honestly, because, like, there's Blythe, who's, like, a person with a wolf head, and then there's the Red Wolf of Radigan, but then, like, along with that, you also have, like, Godfrey, who's not an Empyrean, but he has the Godfrey and Marika get their own beast regents who are not Empyreans. I don't know. So this looks a lot like the dream, like when you're in Godwin's dream fighting Vortisax, and that looks like the blue dancer charm but red. It's a lovely dress. Did you mean me or the red dancer? Yeah, that's Gyobu on a pig. I did not see the Famitsu interview with Miyazaki. We're back to this thing again. Like, I'm curious about what this is supposed... Is this just some weird corpse-eating monster? Yeah, Tree Sentinel reskin, that's it. It's one of those things where, like, how... Is this just going to be a random thing that you fight, or is it going to have some greater significance to it? Because it kind of looks like a... Yeah, it does look like a Crucible thing. But then it does this, like, that attack looks... That's really close to, like, what Elden Beast does. And even, like, the way that the spines have that sort of, like... the thorns coming out. Oh yeah, no, Woland is dead. I saw what you said. We'll get there at the end of the trailer. I'm like, yeah, and that's like... Yeah, okay, I thought it had a little, like, just like a sphere for a head, but it looks like it has a face. It's just like the features have rotted off and it's these two glowing eyes. And yeah, a lot of people think this is an Albinoric, which makes sense because it's like a pale thing with no legs. It does look like a boss. Yeah, it looks like the first boss of Castlevania 4, doesn't it? Yeah, that's probably the guy in the painting. So the thing is, like, he's trying to pull that thing out of his head, right? But, I don't know if it's meant to be like, if you look at the way the barbs work, that's never going to happen. Because the barbs are growing out underneath him. So that literally wouldn't work. You couldn't pull that thing out. So I'm wondering is he just like this in Torment forever? Is this like this lead up to a boss? Does he pull it out? Yeah, here we go. Those who with the grace of gold shall meet death. That would seem to, like, be how this works. Like, the idea this is the land of the dead, so the people who, like, it's like the tarnished have the gold in them, then the gold's taken away. The people who are stripped of the gold can't go back to the Erdtree, so they're going here instead. And that honestly looks a lot like that's literally the shadow of the Erdtree. Because the Erdtree is where you go to be reborn. Reborn? You go to the Erdtree to be reborn, but obviously if you're not part of that cycle, you get sent somewhere else, and that would be the shadow of the Erdtree. So this is presumably just like... It's the Hunter's Nightmare again. It's like all the people who were cursed and abandoned have ended up here. Kage no Erdtree, correct. His head is tiny. Or rather, I guess his head is a normal size and everything else is big. And then we have Mikola. So, this is what someone was pointing out in the... Yeah. Someone pointed out it's similar. It looks like the Erdtree does in the Duskborn ending, which I think is very deliberate, because the Duskborn ending's the one that's associated with Godwin and death. And like we were saying before, it's entirely possible this is actually the final scene of the DLC. Like, you liberate Mikola and he does something to the Erdtree, similar to end of Bloodborne, where you defeat the orphan and then, like, the last thing you see is, like, the sun fade away. Okay, so, like, question of, like, is Mikola evil is kind of interesting, because I don't think Mikola is evil, but he might be kind of naive. Like, we talked about this... Oh, hang on. Of course, to look at here. We talked about this, who was it with? I think it was with Night of the Orchards? Or was it Centrina? That basically, like, Mikola's thing is, embrace everything, no matter what, like, everything come to me, I will embrace and redeem you all. And that's, like, that leads to its own problems, because he starts embracing, like, the reason the Halig tree's rotting is because he won't let go of his sister. Because his sister is, like, the fact that he is willing to keep his sister around is what's letting the Scarlet rot into the Halig tree. Because he won't get rid of her. And it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like, he's trying to embrace everything, he's trying to call everything toward him. But that's causing its own kind of series of problems. That it's like this sort of, like, dilemma that he's faced with. And the way that this opens with, like, oh, Mikola's very kind. Why is this kind person in this place? And then when he goes there, they start talking about, like, you know, the people in this place aren't actually that good. All that happened is that they lost a war, so Mikola's siding with them almost out of, like, a reflex, regardless of whether they're good or bad. So, like, to me, that's sort of Mikola's, like, flaw. Is that he's an enabler? I don't know. So hang on. Where were we going to go? We're going to go to... Shadow of the Erdtree. So... No, I want something recent. All of our questions, Shadow of the Erdtree. Here we go. That's a really, really weird, like, compositing thing. Anyway. Oh, that's okay, here's something I want to know, right? That, like, weird spider web sort of thing at the base of that, is that actually in the original art, or did someone add that? Because I only remember there being one little piece of, like, Shadow of the Erdtree art, and it didn't show that, and then suddenly I saw that showing up. Yeah, someone added it. Yeah, it's weird. Okay. It's a brand new map separate from the lands between. It's a land overshadowed by a particular shadow of the Erdtree, as opposed to Erdtree lands between. It's a physically separate map. Okay, so, like, it technically occupies the same space as the lands between the same universe, but has become physically disconnected. Okay. So physically disconnected could mean... That's the thing, because that's kind of vague. It could mean it's, like, physically moved somewhere, or it's, like, disconnected in the sense of, like, the Nightmare Realms in Bloodborne. Land of Shadows place a player will walk in the steps of Mikola. Mikola travelled to the Land of Shadow, and the players will be tracing his... Okay, so that would explain why Mikola's at the very end, because you're following Mikola up to that weird Erdtree shadow. Another axis is Queen Marika and what she did to the Lands of Shadow. Okay. Mikola's following Marika to the Land of Shadow. That's really interesting. Like, she's clearly not still there. She's in the Erdtree. But it's like, oh, okay, we're going to get some more Marika backstory. Similar experience to the base game. Open field maps. It's got legacy dungeons. It's large legacy dungeons and also small and medium ones. It's comparable to Limgrave, so, like, pretty big. I remember, like, thinking Limgrave was going to be, like, that's as big as the whole game is going to be, because when... The thing about Elden Ring is that, when you're looking at places in the distance, it kind of compresses the depth of field, so things look closer than they actually are. So when we first saw the screenshots, we're like, oh yeah, it's going to be big, but it's going to be like, you know, Hyrule Field or something. We didn't realize it was going to be this big. Way. Yeah, Kikuni Store in the beginning is the entry point. Mikola's traveled to the Land of Shadow. He has some motive and some objective. We don't want to give it away. Following those footsteps, they followed blessings and grace and growth lies between. Footsteps. There are several characters following Mikola as well, so I'm guessing that's Rico. That's like, or whoever Rico ends up becoming. Okay. The giant basket of flame. This is interesting because it looks like the way it's written there, if you just read it with that concept, it looks like the giant basket of flame's name is Mitchell. Can we just call it Mitch? Okay. I can't give away the name yet officially. You just did. It's Mitch. A gruesome weapon that was used, and the kindling is the remains of bodies. So I'm guessing, yeah, that's going to be like either omen or death-blighted people. Okay, the hagfish thing is like connected to the realm of shadow. Which is the death place, so I'm guessing that, like, all the Godwin, like, Death Blight, Erdtree, Wormface things all sort of coalesce together, and we maybe get some more backstory on those guys. Okay. Here we're going to talk about Mesmer. He's a key figure, important element of shadow to him, so that would be like the black stuff in his hand. Yep, he's sitting in a throne. That's like one of the thrones for the demigods. Mesmer stands on equal footing to... Oh, okay, it's not literally. Stands on equal footing demigod children of America sat around those thrones and held rooms. Yeah, true. So he's an important figure who rivals... Okay, this is interesting. They say he's an important figure who rivals the other demigods, but they don't actually say he's a demigod. Okay, so Martin hasn't written anything specifically for the DLC. Mr. Martin and I have at least exchanged emails since the release of Elden Ring. You'd hope. Okay, hang on. Should not change Elden Ring. Should change the experience. The thing about the ones in Morgoth's arena is that if you compare them to that the story trailer that's like not in the game but it's on the Bandai website, you can see that like there's an extra one. There's like one missing. So there's one missing, and the reason presumably, and it's missing, and it's in the scene where Morgoth's putting Godwyn's crown on the throne after Godwyn dies. So it's like it's missing because it used to be that the central throne was for the Golden Lineage, and now that Godwyn's out of the picture, they get demoted to a separate throne. And it's now actually everyone is on equal footing before the throne, instead of it just being Golden Lineage. Freedom of approach, breath of strategy. They will find optional bosses who have been tuned in a similar way to the likes of Melania. So, my favourite part of this is optional. There are going to be optional bosses who are as annoying as Melania. And not crucial. There won't be anything on the same level. He brings up Melania quite a bit. We have prepared bosses that have a similar mindset as memorable. We don't want to say this is the end of the Elden Ring saga for now. So that suggests like they're not necessarily going to follow it up immediately. It might be a while before we get Elden Ring 2. Well, Melania and Mikola get their own seats. I mean, it's just a lineage thing. Like, they're Marika's kids, so they get a seat by default. Except Morg doesn't. And Morgoth doesn't, because they're the ones who get kicked out for being weird monster people. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be... Yeah, there might be more ideas in the future. We don't have plans or a sequel. So, like, this is really suggesting that we're not getting, like, Elden Ring 2 in the near future. The game didn't do harrowing. Okay, so hang on, let's look up. Collector's edition. Cool. Broke the Bandai Namco site. Okay, cool. Do we get some more shots in this? Let's go. Okay. Well, can I zoom in? Oh, I can zoom in. Lovely. Yep, so that's that. Yeah, it is a looks like it is a two-headed snake. It's like, no, is it? Hang on. That's the that's the fire. God, there's so many fucking kinds of fire in this game. That's the fire giant seal, isn't it? Or the fire monk seal? It's one of the seals. And that's also one of the seals. I don't use incantations. You can tell. Yeah, yes, Dragon Communion, that's right. I use one of them. It's one of the fiery seals. That's also in there. That's a tattoo, isn't it? Anyway, the snakes have wings, like the cut snakes from Dark Souls 3. Oh, are they snakes that are becoming dragons? Is that what this is? The Steam page is... Okay, we'll go to the Steam page next. Yeah, so it's like Dragon Communion, Erdtree, Flame... Yeah, they are growing wings. So are they becoming dragons? Is that what this is? It's weird because I absolutely think of the dragons in Elden Ring as just like a historical thing that was kind of important, but not really. Like, it's not super relevant now, you just see the remnants of it. So the idea that, like, ostensibly the most important thing in the DLC is a giant dragon guy. Yeah, I think it is a snake. It's one snake with two heads. Like an amphisbaena. I know it could just be symmetrical, but, like, it looks like it starts there and goes up around, and he's wearing like a feather boa. There is a winged snake statue in Gelmir, yeah. But that's like feathered wings, not bat wings. Weird. Okay, hang on. Put the windy images on the Steam page. Here we go. Oh, hey, we can get 25% off Lies of P. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. So, yep. That's what we've seen already. That absolutely looks like but it's weird because you might think it's an aspect of the Crucible. But it's also very golden. Although they're all golden too. Because I was thinking about when Elden Beast shoots lasers, but this just... Yeah, it just looks like quills, yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking gold, but then I'm thinking, of course, the aspects of the Crucible are gold anyway. It's not just Elden Beast. So, like... Can I make these bigger? I can. Okay. Yeah, they're quills. Aspect of the Crucible quills. So it's some sort of Crucible monster. Oh, Lucille time. Yeah, I'm guessing it's some sort of Crucible based. Look at this thing, God. Anything else here we can look at? Like, that's, that looks a lot like, again, when you think of the worm faces as being these, like, tree things that are all swollen and destroyed. Yeah, it looks like it's from Bloodborne. I was trying to avoid saying that, but it does. But the way that it's, like the gold is sort of trapped inside this, like, decaying wood thing. Yeah, it's almost like a... I mean, it looks like we are going... Okay, someone mentioned that this was a 2 DLCs getting mashed into one deal, like Old Hunters, which I did not... I haven't seen that mentioned anywhere outside of chat, but I have no reason to not assume that's what happened. If I had to guess, I would guess there was probably, like, a Death DLC. There was probably, like, a Godwin DLC and a Mikola DLC. And they've been combined together. So we'll get, like, some horrible death-blighted swamp area. This, I'm guessing, is a PvP arena. Do we think? I don't know. Yeah, this is Coliseum stuff, isn't it? Way back where we said this is an even shadow of the Erdtree, is it? Okay. Yeah, it's not Coliseum. I don't do PvP, so... Yeah, so it's actually only just these 3 that are new, isn't it? See, now I'm... see, I think that's, like... It almost makes me think of the Shroud of the Deathbed Companions. I think, like, people were saying it looks like Marika's bedchamber, and it does, but, like, given that this is, like, the death place, I'm sort of wondering if, like, it's also meant to evoke the shroud of, like, fear, like someone who lies with death. Yeah, the Baldachin's Blessing. I love this. We can finally do a Knuckles the Echidna build. Is the moon waxing or waning? We see... Okay, this is the thing. We see a moon. We'll find it. See, we see a moon, right? Oh, hey, it's got little eyes along the side. I had noticed that before, so it's got little eyeballs. Like, there's the moon. I was sort of wondering if this is meant to be, like, Lionia or the DLC, but you can see there, like, the shroud. The shroud is there. Which makes me think that, like, this is the DLC and there is, like, a night area. And yeah, it is, that little... I don't know how well it's coming across in the little thing I've got here, but that's the sort of... There's this, like, line with, like, a sort of thing through it across the moon in Elden Ring that people think is Rani's Great Rune, and it's, like, never really commented on. But it looks like the same design is here. It's your Elden Ring is just Sonic Adventure DX. Also, Shadow of the Erdtree. Shadow the Hedgehog. It all makes sense. Chaos. Eggs. So I'm liking this weird pantomime horse thing. It's 3 Omen in a trench coat. Okay, here's a question then. Hang on. Let's unmute this.
Of life.
Dr. Connor's class. Hang on.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
I wonder who says that. Hang on, who's the start?
Pure and radiant, he wields love to shrive
No, it's
clean.
a different person. See, like, I don't know if when he's like, mother, bereft of birth, is that Mesmer talking about other people? Is that someone talking about Mesmer?
In one so bereft of light.
Like, is that someone describing Mesmer? Because if so, that could have been... You know what? What if that mother is bereft of light? What if that is the dude who is impaled? Because he looks like he's golden lineage. What if it's that? No, but the whole thing about, like, is it Marika, is it Glow-Eyed Queen, like, it's the fact he says sanctioning lordship. Because the Glow-Eyed Queen, like, she's not the one sanctioning lord. Like, Marika's the one in charge of everything. So when I hear, like, sanctioning of lordship, I think Marika. Oh, hang on, there's the moon again, for people who are curious. It looks like it's this... Is it the same moon from the base game? And there's that, like, the shroud. Hang on.
Of the race of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Lesmer's flame.
Oh yeah, his snake's got the little wings in this model as well. Okay, that's cool. It's so this Martin didn't write any of the DLC, but it's got like Cut Martin stuff in it. Interestingly, like I know how relevant this is, but it's curious that like Mikkola's power is that he has this like sort of hold over people, and Mesmer's name. Like, Mesmer is a real name, and it's where we get the term mesmerize from. So is Mesmer called that because he's like an opposite to Mikkola? Yeah, mesmerize, yeah. Oh, okay, so, BPM... There's some kind of dungeony thing shown in here, but they specify in the interview that there's like a few like legacy dungeons. Hello, Ruthven, sorry. Well, Mesmer's a name. There's a lot of Mesmers. But I'm wondering if they picked it because it's where we get the word mesmerize. Mesmer is Mikkola's Millicent. This is turning into a tongue twister. But it's just... Mesmer is so like... Okay, hang on. step back a bit. The people are here because they lost a war. America declares war on the fire giants. They're the ones with red hair. And they're the ones who wield flame, right? So is Mesmer is he like descended from the fire giants and also friends with dragons? And that's where this comes from. Like it's like he was defeated by Marika, or his people were defeated by Marika. That would explain why he's tiny. Tiny in comparison to giants. Because I'm thinking about who Marika conquered, and she conquered the fire giants, and they're like, I guess this sort of makes, it's just, why dragons as well? Eight new weapon categories, oh god. Okay, I'm gonna say, hang on, because Miyazaki confirms in the interview that we go and we learn about Marika and we follow in Marika's footsteps and Mikkel's footsteps. I'm gonna say that counts as time travel. So that's a bingo. We did it. It is Shadow the Hedgehog. He's a perfect being. He may be related to a weird eye alien from space. Oh yeah, the Crucible stuff, Asa. Like, there was a Crucible beast along here. There's like the Crucible. That's a Crucible move there. Look at him. Like, that's the move the Crucible Knights do. We don't get it. I guess we're getting it here. And then there's the Crucible. We get this horn, this quill thing. I just want to know what this is. Because it looks a bit like the ogres. It's like a cross between the ogres from Dark Souls 2 and like the watchdog from Bloodborne. It's like a dragon. I'm trying to think about how it works, like mechanically. It's the it's kind of like the pigs from Bloodborne, actually. The way it like rears up, it goes. No, okay, but this is like shadows, right? In your actual Elden Ring that we got now, because of the way Marika fucked up death, when you die, you get reborn through the Erdtree, right? But there's a lot of people that doesn't touch. That's why that person earlier is saying like those spurned by the grace of gold will die like this death. So all the people who aren't part of the Erdtree, when they die, they have to go somewhere else. And that's what the shadow of the Erdtree is. It's like, it's the place where the people who aren't being reborn are going. Okay, so this is about, is he ripping... I don't think he's ripping his head off. He looks like he's in, like, is he's not so much ripping his head off, I think, as much as he's just trying to get that thing out of him, but that's not going to work, because if you look at the way the barbs are set up, like, that's not possible. Like, they're actually straight through him. You couldn't do that. Yeah, it looks very Buddhist. It looks very, like, Mother Ligarius. But yeah, so I am like, alright, hang on, let's... We can divide this. Hang on. Come on. I'm trying to make a little tab in Notepad. There we go. No, not you. Okay, hang on. And then you can go here. Okay. We'll do one more pass, and then I'll go to bed because it's 4:45 in the morning and I have to be up tomorrow. Or today, we like to be up in like 3 hours. Okay, Shadow of the Erdtree. Let's zoom in a little bit. It's easier. Cool. Oh, haha, hang on. I've done window capture instead of monitor capture. Hang on, let's just delete that. Move. And display capture. This one? No, that's, sorry about this. Secondary monitor, there we go. That's better. Okay. Alright. Let's get my chat back. Where did you go? There you go. How has Sin not finished the game? She, in her own words, she fucking hates fantasy. So she's okay with Bloodborne, because that's like a cosmic / Victorian horror thing, but there's like an inverse relationship between the presence of knights and dragons and Sin's interest. And since Elden Ring has the most dragons and the most knights, she's just like, oh my god, I don't care. My boyfriend can play this, I don't care. So Shadow of the Erdtree notes, so let's go through. Yeah, that's, I'm trying to explain to her that, like, Elden Ring is, it's way less fantasy than she thinks, but, she just wants to cover Armored Core from now on. Oh, I'm pretty sure the one who burned the Erdtree before that was just the old set of Tarnished. They used Bernal's Maiden as kindling. Okay, so BP... The thing about... This is in response to BPFM. The thing about Elden Ring is, like, if you look at the way the world is structured, it's all, like, successive sort of historical moments and, like, shit coming out of space and, like, the greater will is, like, not necessarily, like, a fantasy deity. It's more like some sort of cosmic presence. Like, the rules of the Elden Ring world, they feel more science fiction-y than something like Dark Souls does. Like, when you go, like, the example I use is, like, when you go underground in Elden Ring, it's not really like in, you know, Lord of the Rings or something when they go down to Moria and discover that, like, the dwarves dug too deep and let something out. It's much more like a sort of, like a Lovecraft, like a Rider Haggard, Rice Burroughs sort of story about, like, finding a lost underground empire. So it's got a different sort of worldview to it, to, like, a fantasy. Bloodborne's more... Bloodborne, I'd say, like, there's probably, like, an equal amount in common between Bloodborne and Elden Ring as there is between Elden Ring and Dark Souls, because Bloodborne's also, like, all cosmic horror and weird gods and things. It's just that's Victorian rather than this weird medieval place. Oh, no, Tarnished Hollow, there is a poison swamp. We don't need it confirmed. Drapes in sky. In sky. Reminiscent of Marika's bedchamber. Slash Deathbed Companion. Doesn't need to be that big. Oh, that's better. I don't think we're getting a Bloodborne remake. We might get a remaster. The thing is, like, as far as I'm aware, the division of Sony, like that particular part of the Sony Japan studio that did, like, the work on Bloodborne's not really there anymore. And, like, Miyazaki has said repeatedly that, like, he doesn't want to do remakes. So I suspect at some point we'll get like a port. They'll port it. It'll run on PS6. Bloodborne's going to be 10 next year. So it'll come out on fucking PS6 and it'll be 1080p, 60 FPS, but it'll be the same. Like maybe that. I don't know. Why would they remaster it? Because then they can charge you for it again. That's why. I'm very impressed I've been able to get through this entire console generation without actually needing to buy one, because it's all running on PS4 anyway. So this is Donovan Eagle saying, like, the lightning blind dude is Godwin. It might have been Godwin's, like, region, or one of Godwin's children or something, but, like, we see Godwin die, and he just looks like a dude. And then we see him again, and he's a horrible fish monster. Whereas the guy we see in this, they're, like, quite old. They look like Morgoth post-horn loss. It makes it sound like I'm doing like a sponsorship thing. Like, did you know 7 out of 10 Omen experience horn loss before the age of 25 by using keeps.com? Here we go. Love them some spiral patterns. Is a bit like Knowles. So there's some purple glintstone. Which suggests onyx ones. Who were Korean family. Miyazaki is happy when we enjoy his games. What if that's Ren at the Snow Witch? Okay, so Rico... No one in this trailer is named apart from Mesmer. Rico is the name given to the cut Mikola character. There was like a Mikola sort of an equivalent of Millicent to Mikola, like this character who would sort of lead you around to Mikola. And he was called Rico, and his quest was basically finished, and then it was cut. So we assume, okay, like they'll probably recycle Rico in this. And the second they're like, oh yes, Mikola, go touch the withered hand, blah blah blah, that's like, I'm gonna say that's Rico 1.5. Okay, so painting. Painting of golden lineage looking guy with Centrina. I don't know if we get the silver tier quest back, honestly. Because they've said, like, we're not going to do, like, there's no plans for a DLC. Again, there's no plans for a sequel right now, so I think it's just sort of done. I'm like, hang on. Water screw thing. Pumping lava. Yeah, it's, at the start, there's someone who mentions Nickel, and, like, I think that's probably, like, the Rico equivalent. There's Mitch. Mitch the Omen disposal robot. Has a fire giant head. Head on his belt could either be a or maybe kind of weird power. Also flame. Fish thing looks like worm face, but without as many worms. Also has eyes on the side of its head. Head apparently important. According to Miyazaki, so presumably that is a godwin thing. A wormless, yeah, you think a worm face without worms would just be a face, but no, it's also still a worm. Actually, are those eyes or are those like spherical breath hole things? Or spiracles? I have not seen the video about Miyazaki's hobbies. Okay, pantomime horse, Chinese dragon, lion thing, two omen in a trench coat. Yeah, I think the worm faces are supposed to be like just avatars of corrupted Erdtrees, because you find them round Erdtrees and the big one drops crystal tears. I don't think that's Deathblight. I think that's just like storm or like physical, because Deathblight's got like an aura to it. Yeah, it's just like it'd make sense if it's like a storm thing, considering like it's the golden lineage, Stormveil, Godfrey. Life Blight. I mean, technically we've all got Life Blight because we can't fucking die. Marika gave everyone Life Blight. Mesmer. Where's the two-headed snake? Make like a feather boa. He's a giant. That's his own flame. Oh no, it's Pontic. I've just realized that Mesmer, since he's a combination of two different things and his gimmick is having his own flame, he's actually Pontiff Sullivan. Hang on. Mesmer uses Fire Giant Seal design, apparently. Yeah, I don't know who's talking in this scene, because it could be Mesmer, but it could also be someone talking about Mesmer. And if it is Mesmer and he mentions Mother, then he's... okay. We know Marika went here. Hang on, Marika went here according to Miyazaki. Marika went here according to Miyazaki. Miyazaki, so Mesmer. Mesmer could be addressing Marika directly. Could Mesmer be a child of Moog and Mikola? Oh god, I hope not. Because that's revolting. The way that it's described is like the people there lost a war, and given that Mesmer is like a red-haired guy and there's like a fire giant emblem later on, I think he's descended from the giants who were beaten by Marika. Hang on. Are they wearing... Yeah, they've got like... Are those omen horns? I think they are. Yeah, they look like... I thought for a second that was someone in like a Xanthus crown. But it looks like it's just a person. They look like Lauren clerics actually from Bloodborne. Where they're like stooped and they have quite long necks and then they have the horns on their head. So they look like... Look like Lauren clerics. They even have the Lauren clerics do the fireball thing too. Lauren clerics very cool. Not used much in game because they're Chalice Dungeon exclusive. Did we get a good look at them? No, not really. Yeah, they've got like a... Oh, there's Shadows of Yharnam. I think the spiral is also the snake. The idea of like the snake that's sort of wrapping itself around the world. Yeah, the candle tree. We've had the... Okay, hang on. The lion, the pantomime lion, shows up on... Oh, hang on. That's an altar. Okay, shows up at a church. At what looks like a minor Erdtree church. Sorry. I've accidentally hit the nitro sense button. I have a gaming laptop that has a dedicated button you press that makes the fans do things, and it's so fucking embarrassing. I have this computer. I have it because I was actually at work and my computer died at work, and I had to rush out and get another one before the following day so I could keep going. And the store was about to shut. So, like, this is, you know, it's a decent machine, but it does have a dedicated nitro button that I find extremely, extremely embarrassing. Yeah, the lion statue said, so the lion statue, hang on. Minor Erdtree Church. Church, except the minor Erdtree. It's deformed. Lions have omen horns. As you can see, like, that's the base of the tree. It's growing out of that. So this, yeah, this is like it's like a minor Erdtree church. Oh, it's like a courtyard, isn't it? Yeah, the base game lions have the horns, and I think this might be like the beginning of... It's going to be like the ancestor of the horned lions or something. It's interesting because the lions seem like that's from like the Crucible stuff, which sort of implies they're not normal lions, because either there's something from the Crucible or they're like... They didn't touch because they're lions. It's very, very strange. Yeah, it weirdly implied, but I don't think the lions do have a human origin. I think maybe the horns meant something else when they designed those lions and they went back and changed it. And now it's like, oh, okay. I think also... Ingrid. She's just sneezing. This is also... It's like 2. It's like 2... The minor... Deformed minor Erdtree. Minor Erdtree also has 2 trunks, like the big one. It's interesting also, speaking of that like we didn't get a single 2 fingers in this, or 3 fingers. There's no fingers at all in this. Because the Elden Ring world is so massive and so complicated that you get like 3.5 hours into this and it's like, oh, you remember the giant fucking hand? Yeah, sorry, so the splitting, that's what I mean. It has a split trunk. Thank you, it's split. Hang on, what's that? I think we see that elsewhere in the... That's like the... See, I'm curious about this. Like, is this a weapon art that we get? And if so, what weapon? Where do we get these? Yeah, the Senpo kicks from Sekiro are back. Runebear head. That's also got a red mane and horns. This is an incantation. I guess. Weird blue dream world thing where you fight a red dancer who looks like the blue dancer charm. except red. Hang on, those are like, what are those? What's that? That's just like a building that's sinking, isn't it? Because like the Blue Dancer is one of those things that like we sort of got weirdly obsessed with in Elden Ring, because they mention the Blue Dancer and like the blind swordsman who seals away the Scarlet Rot, and it's like, where's this going? And it doesn't go anywhere. It does look like the... Okay, hang on. I think it is the bridge of a ship, which means... We'll also say Godwin, because there's death root everywhere. Actually, no, we don't. We don't mean Godwin. That's cheating. And yeah, it's one of those things that's like, it's weirdly specific that they bring up all the stuff about the Blue Dancer and everything and then don't resolve it. Yeah, I think... They do look like ships, and I reckon this is like... Again, this is sort of further emphasizing it's not like a real physical place, because it's like how the strip got there. It comes across very much like the Nightmare stuff in Bloodborne, where it's like all these things are being run aground. Yep, so Tree Sentinel reskin. Do you reckon that, like, the backstory of the weird crucible thing is going to be that it used to just be a pig knight? Actually, what is this? I'm trying to get a sense if that's... Yeah, so that does look like a Tree Sentinel. Actually, I reckon that's like hang on. That's like Tree Sentinel equivalent for weird, deformed, anti-iron tree. I'm trying to get a good look at this thing. Get a sense of the shape of its body. It's like it's... yeah. Some sort of crucible beast with quills. That's also an Albinauric. But also Orphan of Cause. More than 14 mid-years arena. I like its weird little head. I'm trying to think do we see anything else like that? We don't really. It's going to be like a proto-Albinauric or something? That's very like castle. It's like, no, what I'm thinking of Belth from Demon's Crest. That's Belth from Demon's Crest on a horse. Okay. Yeah, it is a bit like the thing is, Elden Ring has so much in it that, like, you see something and it could be like 4 or 5 different things. Golden lineage guy. Having a spear out of himself. Self could be. Painting could. See, like, let's go back to that guy. Yeah, like, he's... Oh, no, oh, okay, so I thought he was, like, gone below the ribcage, but you can see he has legs, they're there. He's impaled from, like, here, and it's coming out here, like that. It's going through like that, so... Yes, ain't good, I know. Hang on, the brooch. Yeah, it's the brooch that the guy in the painting is wearing. So I reckon, like, St. Trina has come here. No, it's not his spine, but it's going straight through him. Like, it's going... Like, it's... The point is, what I'm saying is he couldn't, like, really pull that out because the barbs are so wide that, like, it would just, like, rip his torso apart. It's like the way arrows have barbs in them. It's like they stick in you and you can't pull them out again. Yeah, it does look like a rune arc, yeah. I guess we'll see if he manages to pull it out. What's the exact line again? Hang on. Yeah, there we go. We're spurned by Grace initially, and then we start seeing it again. That's a good point, Abel. Mesmer could be something about the smouldering butterflies, because we have so many butterflies in this. I mean, my understanding of the tarnished grace thing is that, like, they had the grace, and then when the grace was taken from them, that's what led to them being kicked out. Because it was like they were, like, calling them a race is kind of wrong, but they were like a subcultural group or a national group or something that were defined by the fact that their grace had been taken away and they got kicked out. And then after they got kicked out, like many generations later, suddenly the Two Fingers was like, oh shit, we need them back. So where's this? Yeah, so that's directly at the foot of that weird, disturbing mutant Erdtree. That's all we really see of Mikola. So hang on, we'll do this one more time. And I just want to see the different voices in this. Oh, okay, so about like the Radagon bastard thing. I don't know if that is supposed to be like it's Radagon's bastard child or it's like a bastard brackets like unwanted half-breed thing that is serving Radagon, because I mean Radagon as far as we know never touched the Crucible, so I don't know. Hang on, come back, there we go. Okay, let's put the sound up one more time.
Pure and radiant, he wields love.
Yes, Stephen, we were saying that earlier, that like mesmer and mesmerize are kind of like related words. That's Mikola's sort of thing.
To shrive clean the hearts of men.
Okay, so hang on, we've got... We'll list the voices. NPC 1. Talks about Mikola is pure and radiant. Wants to fix our hearts. Radiant. Mikola says fix your heart or die. Mikola says fix your heart or die. Oh yeah, because there's a whole thing about like kisama, which is a word that gets translated as bastard, which means like in the pejorative, like you bastard, hey you bastard, get over here. But then the other one's otoshiko, which is like actual like something that is like an unwanted birth. And I don't know which one they meant by Radagon bastard. Okay, here we go. Okay, one of my friends, Snake Lady, one of my friends today said to me like, hey, you're the only person I know who might be able to say yes to this question. Have you ever seen this really old TV show called Twin Peaks? And I'm like, yes. But she was talking like it was the most obscure thing in existence. Oh, okay.
There is nothing more terrifying.
Hey! This one's here. Nothing is more terrifying. I know it's I mean she's like 27. So I guess it's very obscure and old to her.
In that forsaken place, blood must spill.
You see two Irish voice tells us that there's a forsaken.
Blood of your fellows.
Oh. I think he's Irish. We'll just pull back.
Blood must spill. Blood of your fellows.
I just assume that, like, because of the way that they usually cast people, like, they probably went for sort of Anglo-Celtic VAs. Ironically, except if the character's Japanese, which won't they become American?
Truly faithful.
We'll do Irish/Hispanic. I mean, I guess that Rico is a vaguely Hispanic-sounding name, so maybe.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing side of a war.
NPC 3. Tells us they were never saints.
Mother.
NPC 3. NPC 4. Probably Mesmer. Maybe Mesmer. Talking to Mother. What ship this implies? It's America. This implies America. She's the big cheese.
Wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
Okay, bereft of light could be, if this is Mesmer speaking, then it could refer to anyone? Godwin? Oh, okay, cool. We'll go to the Bandai Namco order page next. What am I doing? Okay. If not Mesmer, and then it is someone, then it could be the impaled guy. Because of the lineage. Lineage talking about Mesmer. 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 In which case, did Marika give him lordship over the Realm of Shadow?
I presume you, too, are keen to know.
PC 5.
Just what kind Mykola is doing.
That's why. Seems.
Hearts of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Vesmer's flame.
Okay, so hang on. I want to go back and see, is that the same voice actor that says that?
Tension in one so bereft of light. Vesmer's flame.
They sound like different people to me. I don't know.
Come now. Touch the withered arm.
MP6 Nicola. MP 5.5. 5 might also be last one. Might also be last one.
And travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Oh, actually, hang on. It says I will not be far behind. Which means he's coming with us. Yeah, that's the thing, because it's like, if Mikkel is saying, I will not be far behind, then he's following us into there, even though we've already been there. He's already been there. So it's almost like, did he go there and make a mistake, and then he's calling us in to fix the mistake he made? Is that what's going on? I think Mikkel is going to be, because we don't see a lot of things in this. We don't even see any Grace, do we? Like, I don't know how it's going to work. Because, hang on, Bandai Namco. Her store. I think people are, yeah, it comes across to me a bit like, because this is a story from, I've done variations on before, where it's like, a character did something, they fucked up. They get you to go and try to fix their mistake. Is that what Mikkel is doing? Hang on. Okay. Mesmer the Impaler. His name is Mesmer the Impaler. Does it say anything about him? Made for the most discerning, distinguished, and dripped out tarnished. Okay, what else have we got here? Ooh. Okay. It's true, no one good has the nickname Impaler. I'm struggling to think of someone who's not, at the very least, problematic. Oh, for... No. Thank you. I am mature enough to play Elden Ring. Okay. Okay. Okay, hang on. This is interesting. Let's grab this. It is 5:30 in the morning. What the fuck am I doing? No, not Tekken 8. Hang on. Where did the text go? Come back. There we go. Okay. So, we've got Ring of Mikola bonus gesture, so that's that. Okay. Obscured by the Erdtree where the goddess Marika first set foot. So Marika's been there, we know that. Unsung battle is kind of interesting because it implies, like I've been saying, is it to do with the fire giants and like Marika's conquest with her and Godfrey when they're in the mountaintops. But then it says it was unsung, which suggests like it's something we haven't really talked about. And then it says it's set ablaze by Mesmer's flame. So like Mesmer is responsible for like destroying parts of this world or something like that. Like he's not just like overruling the place. He's like, he actually was responsible for burning it at some point. Now this is interesting. Mikola departed, divesting himself of his flesh, his strength, his lineage of all things golden. So when that character says the line about you're giving lordship to someone who is so lacking in light, is that Mikola? Because Mikola's given up the gold and the light that he had to go there. So Mikola has, in a sense, become tarnished. And then it's got, and now Mikola awaits the return of his promised lord, which presumably is Godwyn. Yet guided by the Empyrean Mikola, players are back into the land of shadow. The strange lands where to go dark secrets. A completely new world. It's... Okay. Yeah. But see, there's, is it the, hang on. Golden Lineage Sword. Ornamental Straight Sword. Is this one? No, fuck. Golden Epitaph Sword. This game has too many fucking swords in it. Golden Epitaph. Here we are. So it's got, a sword made to commemorate the death of Godwyn the Golden. And then it's infused with the humble prayer of a young boy. Oh, brother, die a true death. So I'm guessing, like, we've talked about this before, but, like, young boy calling him brother, that's Mikola. And it's for Godwyn. So I'm guessing Mikola's waiting for Godwyn. Like, we talked about this when the first image dropped, and I got made fun of on Twitter for talking about a single JPEG for 2 hours. But, I think you can sort of look at it and be like, yeah, the impression we got from that image is it was going to be about Mikola kind of trying to redeem Godwyn by helping him die a true death, and it would tie into like the eclipse and all this other stuff, and that's sort of saying Mikola's awaiting his lord is like part of it. That suggests it is. Yeah, the dungeons above where Godwyn's buried, yeah. Alrighty. It's 20 to 6 in the morning. I have to be up very soon. So, thanks everyone for coming. Just get a lovely picture of Mesmer to end on. make you bigger. Oh, for... There he is. Okay, goodbye everybody. I don't know how long this is going to take to process. Thanks for sticking around for 4 hours. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And I will see you all later. Sin and I will be releasing some new episodes next week. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. I know that pretty much every Souls channel was also doing this at the same time. And I'm clearly like half asleep. So thank you to everyone who chose to hang out here instead of with them. That actually does mean a lot, considering there's so many other channels that have like probably thousands and thousands of people watching. So thank you for coming here. And yeah, I will